Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and you're welcome to Fed House Community. And today from Fed House Kitchen, we're gonna be making this nice banana bread. As you can see, this looks so fresh and dope, and trust me, this is also very yummy. So sit back, relax and enjoy this recipe. And to start our banana bread, we're going to be using those ingredients. We're going to be using some flour. We're going to be using sugar. We're going to be using baking powder, salt, some vanilla flavor or any flavor of your choice, some ground and cinnamon, a nutmeg, some butter, some eggs. We're going to be using some ripe bananas, milk of your choice, then some brown sugar. So yeah, basically that's what we're going to be using for this recipe. So to start with, we're going to match four bananas. We're going to match our four bananas in a bowl and just find something to press the bananas. Then and when we're done with this, we're going to move in with our eggs. We're going to use 2 eggs for this recipe, and so break 2 eggs with the yolk and the egg whites into a bowl, and you are going to whisk this egg properly, and you want to get some air into the egg, so you're going to whip this for the banana bread recipe. Next, we're going to add in the whisked egg into the already mashed in bananas. And so this is basically combining the wet ingredients. So we have the mashed bananas and we have the whisked egg in a bowl. Then you mix this together so that they can combine properly. Then you can add in some flavor. I added vanilla flavor onto my just to give it some good smell and taste. So we're gonna go to our dry ingredients, and we're going to use 1.5 cup of flour. That's 1 cup. Then also half a cup of flour, and for this particular recipe, then we're also going to use an half cup of white sugar and half cup of brown sugar for this recipe. That's for 4 bananas. So this is half cup. We're going to be using half cup of sugar and for this particular recipe. So add in your sugar and mix with the flour. Then we'll go ahead and add in brown sugar. That is half cup of brown sugar. Also I sieved this because of the sugar was kind of in lumps, and just as I sieved in also half teaspoon of baking powder into this recipe also. So yeah, combine the flour, the white sugar, the brown sugar, the baking powder, and together mix them properly. I also added like a half a teaspoon of salt, and also the ground cinnamon, added and some nutmeg, just like a pinch. You can measure them like half teaspoon or a teaspoon should be fine for this amount of flour and banana we are using. And so next we're gonna go in with our butter. I use 100 gram of butter, so I measured it on the scale and cut off the excess. Then I went ahead to melt my butter. So I have to melt in the butter. I'm gonna add this to the wet ingredients. I remember we have our mashed bananas, we have some eggs inside, and we have the vanilla flavor. So half cup of butter is enough. If you have some vegetable oil, you can just use half cup of vegetable oil, or you use the 100 gram. That's gonna give you half cup of melted and butter. Then also half cup of milk and goes into the wet ingredients. And so we combine all these, the banana, the egg, the butter, the milk, the flavor. We combine all this well, and so that means we have our wet and ingredients, and we have our dry and ingredients in which we are going to add them all together. So we now go in with our flour. This is the dry and recipe where we have our flour, white sugar, brown sugar, some spices inside, and we had this is just so easy and so simple to make. Then we just combine this dry ingredients into the wet, and we mix and just don't mix too hard or too rigorously. Just give it a good stir and just turn it in properly. That's all you need to do. Just stir lightly and just turn it properly, and so that it comes out well. This recipe is really easy to make, trust me. So after turning this well, I make sure that you're well stirred. I go ahead and add some raisins into it. You can add some berry, you can add some chocolate chips, just how you ever you want to spice it. But basically, and most times we use raisins for our banana bread, so I used some raisins. And I also did I'm going to show that also, and in this recipe I also did another batch without the raisin, so you can as well watch. So we'll combine this well. Then next, we go ahead and prepare our pan. I'm using the glassware that I'm going to use for baking. So I'm going to spray some non-stick oil on this pan, then put my parchment paper in, and just for preparing the batter before I go ahead to pour my batter into the pan. So we go ahead and pour our batter where we have our ingredients all combined, both the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients that we've combined. We go ahead and pour this into the pan, and we make sure that they are well and distributed and properly seated in the pan. Nothing must be wasted though, so I made sure I scraped everything into the pan. Then I went ahead to tap the pan just to remove any air bubbles from it. And yeah, this is the finished batter. Nice. And please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please this moment kindly subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe. So I kind of made another batch the same way that we made that, the same wet ingredients and dry ingredients, but I added extra milk to this. So in case you want to add extra milk to yours after using the same recipe that we used to make that and first batch, just add some extra milk to yours. And I'm going to make this batch without the raisins. So if you don't have raisins or you don't like raisins, then you can leave that out. Then I'm also going to teach you how to use the pan whereby you oil it to also bake your cake. And so I have a pan here. I'm not using the glassware, so in case you say, oh Fedaus, I don't have the glassware, this is good. You can use your pan. If you don't have parchment paper, you can use your pan. Just go ahead, oil the pan, and properly oil the sides of the pan that you want to use. And this is to ensure that the cake doesn't get stick to the pan. Then you also go ahead to add in some flour into the pan, and you make sure that the flour is spread across where you have the oiled and pan, then to all the edges. Then you tap it around and you pour it out back to remove any excess and flour. So this is how you oil your pan. This is how you prep your pan if you don't have a glassware for baking or parchment paper. So for this batch, I'm not using any raisin, so I made it and I added it into the pan after prepping the pan. And as you can see, voila, I have the two here, the first one in the glassware with the raisins, and the second one in the pan without the raisins. And I had some extra butter, so I decided to just make some cupcakes. So yeah, not to waste my butter, I made some cupcakes and I added everything I had into my cupcake and pan. So yeah, I also had some chocolates and chips, and I added this into my cupcake and recipe. So you know that I'm just going to have a spice of everything, like the raisins and the chocolate chips. And yeah, this is my cakes in the oven, and just leave that for like 40 minutes and it is ready. Voila, just look at this beauty. Ain't that beautiful? But don't leave the cupcake inside for too long. I kind of removed that earlier, just for like after 15 minutes the cupcakes were ready, but the other cake took like 40 minutes. And you can see our banana bread is ready, and sticking some and skewer or just a toothpick inside and make sure that it comes out dry to be sure that it is ready. If it comes out moist, then you know that it is not ready, it is not properly done inside. But if it comes out this clean, then like it's ready. This is so beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll see you later.